Yesterday, we talked about the FRESH acronym, and it's important, this FRESH acronym, especially if you want to have a positive mindset in order to approach failures. But today we're going to switch it up a little bit, and today we're going to talk about the opposite of that, which is how to win in life. And we're just going to wait until some people come on so we can talk about this. I'm just going to wait until some people come on. But yeah, that that acronym was yesterday's live. And if you've not watched it, you can go watch it. Welcome, Nesca. Hi, Quandala Pringle? Quandala Pringle? You've all got better names than me, I'll tell you that. Welcome to the live, everybody who joins. This is a completely new live, and it's a little bit different to the one we had yesterday. Welcome, Gaming Frog, you are back. Good to see you. Today we're going to talk about how you can win in life, because, yeah, I do remember you. So, often in life, even though coming second or third, missing the mark and being happy with that is so important, what is more important a lot of the times is winning. And so there's going to be some moments in your life where you have to win. You have no other choice but to win. And especially, let's turn it off. Especially the people, for example, like I'm seeing somebody's talking about how they got 152 subs. YouTube is a game where you need to win it as well. If you want to come out on top, you need to be the best. And let's focus on YouTube for now, as an example. I know some people want to grow a YouTube channel and they want to create the best possible content on YouTube. And let's use that as an example. So if you want to become the best possible YouTuber, create the best possible content, what is the first thing you need to know? Obviously, apart from the obvious, which is creating content, how to edit videos. But I would say the most important thing is identifying key players. And I'm not going to use the word key, actually. I'm going to use identify big players, because key players could be players at the bottom and players at the top. But big players are the ones you need to identify. And I'll explain in a second why I mean big. It has to be big players because... So we're going to write it on here. Yeah, key players. So meaning you got to identify who is doing the best in their game. So every single thing you do, it consists of a game. So whether that's doing YouTube, whether that's winning the World Cup, it's all a game. And it's the same with life. You can use it as an analogy for life, as a game. But if you want to win and become the best, you need to identify the big players. And I mean the people who are at the top of the game. Why do you need to do that? I'll tell you in a second. So let's put how to win. Because if you don't identify the big players, you're not going to know what works. And you're not going to understand what is working right now for you to become the best possible player, essentially. So I'm going to put identify. Identify big players. So say if you were playing in a football team, I'm saying win as in how to become the best possible you, or whatever you're doing. So whether it's you want a job, you got to identify the big players in the job. And what's going to happen is you're going to know how they work. Who do they communicate with? So then that's how you get up the ladder. But that's for jobs. But for example, a normal game online, for example, you still have to identify who's the best in the game and you want to play as well as them. So that's just a little example, whoever's watching today. But identifying the big players is so important. Yeah, like a game. Anything is a game. So even it takes YouTube. You're creating content, you're creating videos. It's like a game. You make one video, it doesn't work. You make another video, it works. make another video, it doesn't work. So you're climbing a ladder. So the best way is to replicate a person's winning strategy. So that's why you have to identify. And also, most games, if you think about it, is created as a system. And if you understand that system, you're going to realize that that system is built in a way where one person or a few people are at the top and they create the market. Thanks. I'm glad it makes sense now. They create the market and they actually create the system. So say, for example, YouTube, when it didn't exist. So you're saying go up and down. Well, I'm saying when you play the game, your success is gonna be like going up steps. So like you're gonna do one thing, it's gonna do well. Then you're gonna do another thing, it's gonna do well. You're gonna do another thing, it might not do as well. So you're gonna stay here, and until you've created a better piece of content, for example, or you've met a person who's higher up in whatever you're trying to achieve, he's gonna tell you, look, you need to understand how to do, for example, how to work on communicating better in your videos, or you need to understand how you can find better partnerships. So that's just an example on YouTube. But for example, in a job, you're gonna find out that there's certain people in a job that are really good at the job, and you want to be around those people because you want to be better and better. So each time you want to identify the big players, and then that's going to help you climb the ladder. So that's with anything. Anything you do, you have to do it like this. And I saw a quote the other day. I think it was like, I shared it in the community section. It was, I don't know if it's true, Pablo Picasso, apparently. Is it Pablo Picasso? Pablo something. Let me check. But I shared a quote and it was something like, learn the rules and then learn how to break them, essentially. So you're going to get to a point in your journey where you're going to have to completely think outside the box. And that's where creativity comes in. So creativity comes in here. That's how I see it. Because once you start using your creativity, that's when you have no competition. Because you're literally just competing with yourself. Here, you're competing with somebody. Here, you're competing with yourself. And if that makes sense, like the live. Yeah, it says Pablo Picasso. I don't know if he did say this, but I like the quote. It says, learn the rules like a pro, meaning learn the rules here like a pro, and then so you can break them like an artist, which is why I say creativity. So does that make sense, guys? To me, that makes sense. Because often when I started with YouTube, I started here. And I started being around people who just created the first 1 or 2 videos. And when you start getting some subscribers, you start getting some viewers, you realize that all it is, the sky's your potential and your creativity. So as long as you're focusing on being creative, you can go as high as you want, literally as high as you want. And yeah, I saw this Pablo Picasso quote on a comment. I saw it on a comment on Jordan Peterson's video, which I shared on my Instagram, and it was talking. I'll reply to this comment in a second, but it was basically talking about this. The question was, do employers hire creative people? And Jordan Peterson said, no, they don't. They don't hire creative people because creative people break rules. And that's why I'm saying creativity is at the top. Because he basically said in the video that as soon as you reach the top, you realize the best workers are the people who are creative. And they're bringing in the most money. And they're the creative types. But here, a powerful person is telling you what to do. That's in terms of a job. But if you're doing your own thing, for example, the YouTube, or you've got your own business, you're gonna still be here at the start, and you're gonna do what everybody else does, essentially what what your boss is telling you to do. So even if you do your own thing, you're still going to start here. But the more you go up this and the more you improve, you'll then start tapping into creativity. That's what I wanted to say, and that's what I shared in my my Instagram, the video. But that's part one. That's like identifying the big players, because once you've identified them, you can then work out the second part, which ties into this comment, this quote, which is master the game. So you identify the big players, then you master it. Because the only way you can get to here, to the top, hello anime fan, welcome. The only way you can get to here, right at the top, is once you start mastering. You can't get mastery until until you have reached that. Because the only way you're going to reach that is through this. But the only way you're going to reach that is also through this. So these two are connected. 1 and 2. And that, guys, is the winning formula, which is going to help you so much. So somebody put, it should, like you're talking about when people unsubscribe when I start my channel. Yeah, people, when you start, people are going to definitely unsubscribe. That's because that's just how it works. If you're talking to 10 people at a party or a networking event, 6 people are going to leave. Not because they don't like you, but because they just, they're either busy, they want to talk to somebody else, or, they don't really fit in with what you're saying, or they don't really resonate with what you're saying, and that's not a bad thing. That's okay. So as long as you are doing the little steps at the start, people will drop off. That's what I'm trying to say. And maybe you will have bad days or setbacks. That's okay. But as long as you're going up this, and remember, we're all going up a ladder, whether that's work or life in general. You're always climbing a ladder. So when people talk about climbing the career ladder, I always look at it in a different light. I always think, actually, there's no such thing as a career ladder. Everybody's life, even if you're a big business person, you're still climbing your own ladder. It just looks a little bit different. So yeah, does anybody have any comments or questions? Let me take some questions. Or maybe you can say something that resonates with what I just said. And I haven't been on your live for a long time. Oh, no worries, man. Sorry for missing. That's great. It's great that you're on. Don't worry about missing it. Life gets really busy. I couldn't make a live for like 5 days because I was away. Then I came back and I got a bit ill. I had a bit of a cold, but I'm back on. And the views are starting to come in again. So my views dropped off a little bit, but they're starting to pick up again. So that's good. And it's always important to keep consistent. Like, for example, people who are watching today and you want to grow a YouTube, you want to start a YouTube. One of the biggest things, if you ever want to get to this level, which is competing with yourself, is first be consistent. And that is how you reach mastery. Being consistent, so consistent. So can you see a pattern here? The only way you're gonna get to the top is if you literally follow certain traits that all successful people have, which is all on this board. Consistency, creativity, mastery. In order to identify big players, you need to understand who are the big players. How, like I keep on using this example, but when I was in crypto, for example, it's very easy to identify the people who are making a lot of money and the people who are making not a lot of money. And once you identify these people, then you can easily replicate what they do or work alongside them or make friends. That's how easy it is. But that's just one example. So we got questions. Is it worth becoming a programmer for the money? Well, I would say if you have a passion for it, it's 100% worth getting into programming. A lot of there's a shortage of programmers, I do know that, but also depends what you're trying to do. So a lot of good programmers, they're not really gonna work for a company. They're working for themselves, because a really good programmer can make a lot more money working for themselves than working in a company. If you don't know about it at all, and somehow you're curious about it, I think you should get into it 100%. At one point, I was thinking about getting into it, but my strengths much more is to do with like marketing, because that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years, and I've learned a lot through it. So there's no real point me like, I mean, I would love to know about it and be aware of it. Like for example, when I create my sales funnels on my pages, my websites, I know like the back end code a little bit, like here and there, but in terms of like we had a module at uni for programming or something, and I didn't like it. So it depends. It depends where you come, which angle you're coming from. If you're coming from the angle that, okay, I need to make more money, but you're not passionate about it, then there's no point, because there's other stuff that you can get more passionate about and make more money. Did you get what I'm saying? That sort of thing. So if you're joining today, do give the live a like, please. It helps a lot. And also, just to recap, in order to win, you need to do two things. One, identify the big players, meaning the people that are constantly winning. So, in the case of YouTube, Mr. Beast, what is he doing differently? Do something similar to him. Or if he's not your jam, think about some other person who you could possibly replicate. Number two is master the game. So that takes a lot of commitment, a lot of passion and enthusiasm. So in the case of programming, like the question was asked about programming. You need to master the game in programming, because if you don't know your ins and outs, it's going to be difficult to like create a really good website, or like create an app that people can use and it works, you know, back end, front end, that kind of thing. But yeah, mastery is all about just keep on doing it over and over and over and over. In the case of content creation, you just need to consistently create content and just engage with your audience. That's probably one of the most important things. And creating content is not easy, but it's very fulfilling, and you can actually basically talk to people wherever you are. Like, I don't need to be in my house right now to talk to people. Talk to people wherever I am. But yeah, so whatever you do, remember these two things: identify big players, or identify the best. You could say that, or key players, and then master the game. That's the two things you need to know. And I'm gonna include a link below, which links to my Patreon basically, and you can get access to basically weekly content of helping you grow your YouTube. That's one, and just marketing in general. I'm gonna be sharing some content there. So if you do like my content, and if you do think that I could help you with growing your channel through shorts or longer form content, whatever it is, then do check out the Patreon. And also I have a tier where it's just helping me out as a channel, where you can I think it's like $5 a month. Basically everything that goes into the Patreon is going back into the channel, so you can be certain that the money is definitely going into there. Because I'll be honest, I don't need that money because I got a job, but I do this because I want to help more people, and to get better equipment, etc. Welcome, Epic Game Francais. Yo, welcome. So yeah, today's been an awesome live. We talked about how to win the game, and when you say win the game, it can just be life in general, because once you identify people who are doing well in life, or as some people like to say, your mentors, then you will master the game naturally, because you want to be like them, and that's going to help you go up. And then through what you know and thinking outside the box, you can be creative and create the life that you want to create. That's another way of saying it, but I think that's a good way to stop the live. But if anyone's got any questions, let me know, and I'm going to answer them. And or if just general questions, get to know each other, that'd be good. but it's been a good one today. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good week. Weekend's gonna start soon. Get a good rest in and then be ready for the next week. But always keep positive, guys, and make sure that the thing that is driving you is not something materialistic. Always work on yourself first. That's the most important thing, guys. Like the live, and I'll be on tomorrow as well. Do I watch anime? Not really, no. I used to watch as a kid. Don't really watch anything right now these days, but it'd be fun to get into, to be honest. When I was in crypto properly, there used to be a lot of anime fans. All these tokens about anime. It's funny, but I like studying about Japanese culture as well. That's a lot of anime, isn't it? But yeah, I would definitely want to get into it at some point because I feel like it could be something that I could be interested in. But at the moment, I'm just doing all sorts. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this live, and I hope you got some value from it, because this stuff could really change your life, like, honestly. Appreciate you all, guys. Do like the live. If you're here for the first time, do subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.